Right, welcome to the news update. And right about now, the Finance Bill 2025 has been drafted and it's here with us for Kenyans to go and read about it and understand what the government is proposing to do ahead of the 2025-2026 financial year. And you remember the Finance Bill of last year, 2024, it also came out at the same time as this one in June. You remember around the end of June is when Kenyans took to the streets to protest against the changes that President Ruto's government was willing to do from the Finance Bill Act of 2024. Now, this new finance bill, there have been stories going around that there are no taxes for Kenyans, and I am here to give you the full details of what to expect once the parliament sits down in their chambers and passes the new finance bill. So I am going to take you through a simplified and easily explained article that was written by amkeni.ke on Google, which simply explain more about the taxes, because there are some miscommunications going out there. There are also stories that the bread, which we normally used to buy 50 bob, is now going to 58 shillings. There are stories that now the content creators who are being taxed 15% are going to be taxed a withholding tax of 20% from the new Finance Bill 2025. Also, the new micro business owners who are earning, let's say, 400 to 500,000 shillings per year are now being added into the taxes. Now, there's a lot of information that we are going to break down here, and I'm just going now to browse the amkeni.ke website. You can also log in once you have your free time after you're finished watching this video to understand more. Now, the article says, and I quote, Finance Bill 2025 explained. What does it mean for Kenyans? It is an article written by Joseph. And now the finance bill, he first starts by explaining to people, if you are wondering what all this talk about the Kenya's new finance bill is about, you are in the right place. So let's go it simple, clear, with real life examples. What's a finance bill? Think of the finance bill as your family's monthly budget only for you, the entire country. Okay, finance bill ifikirie tu ni kama the mwezi kisha, how you plan as a family, nini nini. So it says that you think it as your family's monthly budget, but in this one you go to the large scale for the whole country. It decides what taxes we pay and how much you pay, and affects how much money people have in their pockets. Now, the good news, this is what is getting better in this new Finance Bill 2025. We'll get to the bad ones later. Now, more pocket money for workers. That is the first one. And the article simplified says that imagine your sister Wanjiko works for a company as a salesperson. Every day, the company gives her money called an allowance to buy lunch, pay for bus fare, airtime, or anything else that she needs so that she can be able to do her job. Now, before now this finance bill, if it's passed, 2,000 shillings per day was tax free. If you make 2,000 per day, it was tax free. And now up to 10,000 shillings per day will now be tax free. Before it was 2,000 per day, but now you can be able, as a salesperson, earn up to 10,000 shillings per day. It is tax free. That means more money stays with Shiko instead of going to taxes. That's a pretty great idea, right? And now you can ask for more black tax. Funny comment there. It also goes to explain there are better deals when building your home. Now listen to this. Maybe your uncle back in Ushago is planning to build a new bungalow uko Kadhonzweni. Before, if he borrowed money from the bank called let's say the mortgage, yes, it's mortgage, to build, he could not reduce his taxes from the interests he paid. But now he can. So he'll have to pay less tax and have more money to spend on his new one-bedroom bungalow. I'm pretty sure I might try before the end of this video get to check those clauses for you, as they are table in the, I guess, 27 pages finance bill of 2025. More money for our grandparents. It says that your grandma, let's say your grandmother worked as a teacher for many years and they saved something in their pension fund. Now, before, she would have to wait until she turned 65 years to get her pension money without taxes. Now, after contributing for 20 years, she can enjoy tax-free payments at any age. Your shosho can buy more treats for you and worry less about money. That's a big one. That's a big win for our grandparents, because you remember now, before in the government, you'd have to wait until you turn 65 years so that you can start enjoying your pension. But now it says if you have been contributing for 20 years, you can start enjoy tax-free payments at any age. Doesn't matter you're 45, you're 50, you're 55. Yeah, I guess that's a good one. Okay, and now those are the only good ones so far. Let's get to the tough ones. I'll inform you about the small businesses. Now, let's imagine your older cousin starts a small bakery. Usually, small businesses take some time to start making profits. Before, your cousin could carry forward his losses for many years, and thus reducing his future taxes. Now, he can only do this for 5 years. After that, he'll have to pay full taxes even if his bakery isn't full profitable yet. Yes. So this says that before, people could you could start a business, maybe haijashika kwa ground, things are not going well, and then you will evade the taxes because unajaribu tu biashara. But now, after 5 years after you have started your business, you'll have now to start paying taxes after 5 years, and you have to pay them fully. Hey, okay, things get pricey, especially tech and solar stuff. Maybe you had planned to buy solar panels to save money on electricity at home. Previously, these panels were cheaper because they didn't have any tax, that is called the value added tax, VAT. But now, solar equipment will cost 16% more. That's extra money you'll have to pay, making solar less affordable for Kenyans who want maybe to invest at their places where there's no electricity, or maybe people who don't rely so much on Kenya Power. Now there's a 16% tax, VAT, on solar. Okay, here is something concerning now. The Kenya Revenue Authority, KRA, which collects taxes, will now have access to private business information, including customer data. Imagine you trust Tinder with your personal details, and then KRA can now go and look at these details, raising questions about privacy. This is if the bill passes to Parliament. I also remember on this clause is when the KRA will also be able to assess what sorry about that. Now the KRA, it is also been said on X that KRA will now have the permission to assess your M-Pesa transactions, your M-Pesa statements, and that's something not so many Kenyans might be comfortable with it. And then another thing is what's the bottom line for regular Kenyans under this new finance bill 2025. It says that it has its up and downs. The good news is that it helps workers keep more money, make home ownership easier, and support older people like our grandparents. But on the other side, it will make life harder for small businesses and might increase prices on things like solar equipment and mobile phones. But you should not stress too much understanding these changes because they help you and your family prepare better. Plus, the bill is still in its early stages, meaning there's room for your voice to be heard. If there's something you are not happy with, you can join in the public participation meetings which are being held in your areas. Remember, I've just seen some member of parliament was in Kiambu carrying out the public participation for Kenyans to give their opinions and their reviews on the new finance bill. So Kenyans are now being given a chance to speak up and share their opinions on this new finance bill. Of course, there are many people who have expounded the new finance bill better. Maybe there are so many professions on X who have given more clauses, especially on things like bread, the VAT on bread, the tax relief on some things here and there. I just try to see if I can access X. Yes, let me see if I can access X here on my browser. All right. Right, so I've just accessed this document from X. It says let's compare the finance bill 2024 and 2025, and it's just from X user McKenna MK. So as you can see there, it says that in 2024 there was introduction of 15% withholding tax income from digital content creators, classifying it under royalty. Now the 2025 proposes that it will maintain and increase the withholding tax to 20% using an even broader definition of royalty to include software distribution and monetized content. Yes, so this means for content creators, the monetized content that could be YouTube, TikTok, the revenue that you are making from those platforms, then the government could be coming for their 20%. On the betting and winning taxes, the government in 2024 had proposed exercise duty of 20% on betting stakes. It was previously 7.5, then 15, and then in 2024 they were proposing it to go to 20, and withholding tax on winnings remained at 20%. Now the new finance bill, it maintains the exercise duty at 20% on betting stakes, and also retains 20% withholding tax on winnings. So there is nothing that is going to change there for the betting companies. Also, change on turnover tax for small businesses. This is what is happening now. The Finance Bill 2024 had changed the applicable turnover range to 500,000 from 500,000 to 15 million, and raised the tax rate from 1% to 3%. But now it says that what am I seeing here? Okay, some difficulties with the document, but it says that okay, it keeps the same clause under section. Okay, it says that it retains the same threshold and a 3% rate reintroduced as is, despite heavy backlash from MSMEs in 2024. I'm not so much knowledgeable in that area, so sitakwambia najua hizo ni nini, but maybe for the people who are concerned, they might understand. Supply to public entities, the 2024 had introduced section C, stating that payments from public entities for goods would be taxed in the year received. Now it keeps the same clause under section 10 amendments. Supply to public entities is taxable upon payment, not delivery. Okay. Withdrawal of bread from VAT exemption. Now, in 2024, the government had said that it attempted to remove bread from the zero-rated list in the VAT Act. You can check Schedule 11. Now, in 2025, it quietly reintroduces the same move. Bread will attract at 16% VAT, making it more expensive for consumers. This is what this document says. I cannot say I can verify the information, but this is someone who says they sat down and read the whole finance bill, and they're saying that the bread will be added 16% VAT. Maybe if you are more conversant with this, you can share in the comment section, you understand. Then on the royalties definition, it says that it expanded the definition of royalty to include software and digital rights payments. Same rewarded expansion, so this doesn't change much. And the removal of tax reliefs proposed repealing various personal and corporate tax reliefs like education, insurance deduction, and tax holidays. Now, that was in 2024. The 2025 brings back most of the repeals, especially on investment deduction extensions and home ownership savings, stripping out many incentives. But you can remember the other document that we read on amkeni.ke says that the new finance bill is here to make home ownership affordable and easier. Yes, so that is the so far what is going on the new finance bill 2025. It is not yet passed, iko kwa very early stages, so the people are being given public chance to do the public participation so that we can have avoid a repeat of what happened last year, people going on the streets and demonstrating what they called Ruto government to be placing the what do we call this, ile unatukanyagia shingo manze Ruto. So saizi the government has tried to and make this one very friendly, but are we really sure it's friendly ama tumesoma tu juu? So it's up to you. Go maybe get your copy of the finance bill, have a read at it, and then you can come and tell us what you think about this new finance bill 2025. Thank you so much guys for watching. I tried my best to give you the information. Thank you to my source amkeni.ke and also the X. Thank you so much guys. I'll be sure to check you next time. Bye bye for now.